Hello, everybody. I'm Jessica Alston, lead marketer at CH Consulting Group. Earlier this year, we sat down with CEOs Christa Heibel at CH Consulting Group, Fred Stacey of Cloud Tech Gurus, and Eben Hall of Vertex C3. And we talked about the launch of their AI Readiness Assessment, a business-first approach that helps organizations prepare for AI before investing in technology. Now that we're in Q4, we're checking back in to see what's changed, what clients are learning about their operations, and how readiness is shaping the next phase of the AI strategy heading into 2026. So, welcome everybody. The first question that I would like to get into to start this off is, now that we're in Q4, how has the first 3 quarters running the AI readiness assessment gone?
You guys want me to jump in?
Yeah, it's been fabulous. We've had great engagement and interest, and of the customers that we've been working with, we've definitely provided value as well as some learnings for ourselves around how to continue to enhance the product to make it even better and more valuable for the future customers that we get.
Yeah. And I think we've had a chance to validate it in different situations against a number of different client situations. So some of them a little bit more advanced than others in where they're at in their AI journey of selection and implementation or testing. So I think the principles of how we've defined AI maturity and readiness have held true in all of those scenarios.
Yeah. Even in the companies and organizations that are building, what quickly became obvious is no matter how advanced they are, most companies have still not fixed the fundamentals. What we talked about last time, what we continue to talk about all the time, it's the people and processes that are really determining whether the tech succeeds. A lot of times it's not that it's bad tech, it's just they're not ready for it, which again, really speaks to why this is, we built this.
Yeah, I can imagine. So as you've been going through the assessments, what are the most common surprises or realizations that stand out?
I'm going to just go with, and this kind of piggybacks a little off of what Fred just said, but I'm just feel like all roads lead back to good business processes. And so it is often, again, about communication, planning, clarity around use case, because there is still just investment being made where it's siloed and it's unsuccessful because it isn't part of a bigger overall corporate wide strategy and with clarity around what the intent behind the tech really is. So we still see a lot of that. And so I think communication, planning, measurement, like all those just business best practices.
Yeah, I was going to echo that by saying there may be a high level strategy. Hey, we want to improve using AI, but then it jumps 3 or 4 steps and goes right to a tech solution saying, okay, I need something to solve this. What tech do you have? Do you have a vendor? Do you have a solution? And we have to pull it back. So, I think the thing that I find most surprising is that it's not that there's people trying and experimenting on AI and how to deploy it, but it's really the steps around how to ensure that it's a value and it's going to actually make a meaningful difference in the industry or in that company.
Yeah, and I think I was probably most surprised at the number of companies that have already deployed something in a POC environment. The number of enterprises that are already building. What's becoming a quick reality is this is not a build or buy conversation. This is a build and buy. Build where it's critical. Enterprises have to own the data. They're quickly realizing that this is not an option. Either you're going to be an AI enabled company, or you're going to get left behind. So they have to build. And that's the fascinating thing. It's, the dynamics of that, multiple different silos. I really had hoped that AI was going to force and break down those silos, but apparently organizations like ours and services like ours is what it takes to really get them to open up their eyes and recognize that, hey, you're still siloing your organization. You're not clearly communicating across operations and IT and legal, and you don't have a corporate overall strategy that's clearly been defined for all those groups.
So, are there consistent patterns that you've seen across industries area where it's like most teams are strong versus where they're still struggling around AI readiness?
I just feel like there's such a tendency to want to like start, fail, and then go get help. Right? So we have a client right now actively that we're working on a different just optimization of another tech platform and just kind of operational contact center improvement and transformation, which with huge results. But they wanted to do AI, so they jumped into the AI bot, and there were some initial really good signs. We kind of said, hey, we don't think you're ready for that yet, but like we'll watch you and we'll support it. But our work stream is over here, and we would traditionally come to that after we've built and repaired some other foundational issues within your business. And all we kept hearing about this AI bot is it was converting within 3% of like the actual, live agents were, and it was this huge success. And they wanted us to start deflecting some pretty significant numbers, like inbound numbers. And then we come to find out that it's actually the containment of calls that were actually being routed to the bot was like under 30%. But nobody was reporting on that. The AI company was not reporting that to the client. The client didn't know enough to ask for it. But as the numbers went up and it started having a really negative impact on the live resource management, WFM and optimization, and then we got kind of caught up on that scope and got over there. It wasn't done correctly. So there were some learnings, and now we get to go in and help them do it right. But I feel like there's this desire to go play around and be optimistic and then kind of come get help.
I can tell you that the reoccurring theme is everybody in the industry wants to talk about, making agents super agents with AI. Yet I tell you the volume, because we sit in between so many suppliers, so many requests, the volume of people wanting to throw POCs in for conversational bots compared to everything else, it's not even close. So once again, the industry talks one thing and then attacks the other thing because they believe that's what's going to drop the most value to the bottom line, which is true when you do it right. And it's effective, and you train and tune and do all the things and set the processes. But the problem is they haven't done all the work. And that's 99% of the cases. I would say that they've got people who are aware of large language models, how to build, fundamentally, but they don't understand the people, processes, and tech, and circling back around and how to continually ongoing, maintain, because you turn something up and a large language model will first sound really good until it starts to drift, until you start getting hallucinations. And then all of a sudden, next thing you're in serious problems. And then the basics, I can't tell you how many class actions are out there right now on companies forgetting that you actually have to still notify customers that they're being recorded. I mean, how do you miss that? It's because people are deploying stuff and not taking into consideration that law didn't go away. Those regulations didn't just magically disappear because it's AI. So we're moving fast and we're breaking things, and unfortunately the customers are suffering because of it. And now the clients are coming back saying, whoops, we messed up, can you help? So that seems to be the reoccurring trend across every vertical. I mean, it doesn't matter where they're at. I have yet to see some company walk in and say and have all of their ducks in a row. I mean, a lot of them don't even have the ducks in the same pond. So
Literally.
And we're seeing that now, like IBM, Klarna, all of these companies who are like AI. Now they're walking it back. They're rehiring humans. They're going back to the basics that they skipped over to get to the AI.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Over the last couple months, how does the assessment help clients avoid wasted time and money? And what is an example where you've clearly changed the outcome of an AI initiative?
Yeah, I think the one that comes to mind for me, and I'll let you guys hop in, is really even during the initial phases, having clients recognize that it's they're already missing, they already have gaps just during the assessment. The simple realization that, oh, they don't have the answers, and seeing those for themselves, ran by a third party of, a team of subject matter experts. And, that's it almost becomes obvious, to them that, oh, we weren't ready. And these are things we need to work on. The fascinating thing is, post outcome, there wasn't any question. I don't think anything was, hey, I don't understand why we scored this, or, that doesn't make sense. It was just recognizing that, these were the items that they definitely needed to look at.
Christa, yeah.
I was just going to say, I think one of the other outcomes of the readiness assessment and maybe even more the enterprise strategy scope is that AI is not just a bot. So everybody wants to jump to the all-in, like, labor, payroll replacement, voice chat bot. But there are a lot of other ways in which AI can be brought into your organization, even just with under the CX contact center. So we are having, I'm going to say, fun, right, with AI in recruiting, AI in training, right? And then, of course, we're a huge proponent from a business process and improved customer experience perspective with, like, co-pilot type products, like agent assist products, that just serve up a better agent experience and a better customer experience. And so I think sometimes, the pressure from the top over the course of the last 24 months when it comes to these two big letters, A and I, has been about drastic cost cutting and drastic headcount cutting. And of course, we have clients realizing those successes, but there's a lot of other efficiency gains to be had outside of just the bot tech. And I think we brought a lot of good ideas to clients this year on that. So
yeah, I kind of like echoed a little bit of the both. I was going to hit the clients realizing it's a little harder, more gaps than they expected, but they also still see the promise and the value. So like any new technology, it's worth the investment to move forward. So it's not like, oh, this is harder than expected, let's rethink and stop. It's more of, okay, let's figure out how to be smart to get through these pilots. Let's figure out how to solve the problem. And a little bit of the last question, what I've seen is consistent, that the organization's DNA is still the DNA. So companies that are very analytical stay analytical. Ones that are shoot by the hip, shoot by the hip. So while AI has the opportunity to kind of change the mindsets, it hasn't, right? People are still working and doing the same things they do with whatever they were doing before. So, so like all things, there's great promise, but there's also challenge in delivering something.
Yeah. So each of you brings a different strength: operations, technology, leadership. How does combining those perspectives make this assessment unique compared to what else is in the market?
So I'll give you my opinion, and I think this is backed up by fact, in the history. Look, there's a lot of companies out there that are small organizations that are, one or two people. Maybe they have contact center depth, maybe they don't. You're looking at a group of people in an organizations that are built around the contact center, and customer experience. It's just different. When you have a bunch of practitioners that live and breathe their world, that constantly stay up to date in their practices as your subject matter experts, bringing that together in a very fun, I had a blast. I still am having a blast because everybody brings a unique perspective. And although we all kind of cross over in different spots, it always ends up with the best result for the client. So, being solely focused in this world, in our practice of contact center and CX, there's nobody else out there like that. And that's why this team was so critical in really pulling this off. And I believe, I might be biased, but I believe it's the best one by far in the market.
Yeah, I would say that one of the great attributes of our team is that we have excellent teaming dynamics where people are free to share ideas, but we also challenge ideas. So it's not a group think. It's not a let's follow the leader. It's, that's a good thing to think about. Or to where Fred's point, that we do know crossover, we can understand where something's going, but someone's more of a true expert. They can kind of lead, but we can challenge. And by doing that, we end up with excellent results that really present a holistic solution for the client.
Listen, I just think it's fun. I've had fun working with these two and working on AI readiness and maturity within organizations and enterprise approaches. I honestly feel like the AI maturity assessment, that is the best deal in the market today on AI. And I mean this sincerely. You can take me completely out of the equation, but when you look at the brain power and the experience that goes into how we've partnered, to Eben's point, you have a lot of very tactical experience, senior level leadership from a tech and ops and a business perspective going into those reports, and you don't have access, quite honestly, to that level of input for that price point anywhere in the market. I'm gonna just say that. So yeah. I think we're having a good time. It's fun to be helping figure this out, right? And for people that like and are excited about, where and creatively where this tech is going to go, and I think being on the forefront of wanting to help guide our industry and market into it is just been really neat. And I'm learning as we're going, because again, there's just so many amazing people behind the three of us that are doing this work with us. So it's just cool.
So looking ahead to 2026, what do you see as the biggest challenge and opportunity in CX leaders around AI in 2026?
Well, a little bit of the trends that we saw starting are only accelerating. People are realizing it's even harder and they're not getting the investment around AI. So they really need to rethink what they're doing. You got examples in the previous questions of people, I can just swap out bodies. That's not as easy as it sounds, right? It's also the same breath not going away. It's not oh, it's not delivering the results, so do something different. It's just we really need to figure it out. So that's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, I mean, look, this world is shifting very fast. And the one thing that is true for 26 and moving forward is you're going to need experts. The top AI developers are given $1 million+ sign-on bonuses with the large scaler hyperscalers and the large model builders, and everybody else is fighting. I think the key for contact center and customer experience is we're going to continue down this path, whether anybody, it's not worth fighting. I've told people a lot these last couple of years, don't die on that hill. If you think that you're going to fight artificial intelligence coming into our space, you're going to get replaced with someone who's going to do the work. So you got to figure out who are the people you trust, the trusted organizations. And we're not the only ones out there. There are some great teams. Don't get me wrong. I still believe we are absolutely best positioned, and we've been talking about it longer than everybody else. Because we saw it coming. But that just because you see it doesn't make you better. It's a team and all the things we already talked about. But the fact of the matter is, no one knows what model's going to win. No one knows what supplier's going to win. So organizations have to build their company for the future, which means that you've got to do the foundational work. So we're doubling down, as far as an organization, and with this partnership and continuing to offer value from the services side along with the products and technologies that support that. Versus doing it the other way, with the products and technologies and then bringing in the services on the back end. So hopefully clients can get ahead of this. That's really the only option they have. It's either prepare your house and get it ready and make sure the foundation is good. Otherwise, you're going to keep throwing products against the wall and none of it's going to stick, and you're going to waste millions of dollars, and then someone else will get brought in and they'll bring us in.
I think what Fred just said is so important because the money is the money has slowed down a little bit on investment, both by way of implementation, not slowed down like less money, but the growth projection has slowed a little because of, I think, again, the initial wave of results, right? And now people are pausing and I think they're trying to do it better and smarter. Listen, I don't envy the customers in this at all, because to Fred's point, the other thing we're going to see in the next year is a shakedown. You can't walk 2 feet at a conference today and not run into an AI product that may or may not actually even be AI. But there's a lot of startups. There's a lot of small businesses out there. Everyone's vying. I think there will continue to be acquisition merger. There will be a separation like we saw in CCAS years ago between a distinct tier 1, tier 2, more level product set. It's scary to double down on something, right? Really off the cuff and then have them not be around in a year or two. So it's just a Wild West to navigate it. And yet I'm reminded again that we are still not all in the cloud. We still have a lot of broken process, and tech doesn't fix that. And so I think we're going to continue to see, as we have more this year, more money going back on the operational side of the organization around fundamental best practices and good process and workflow design, because really that is inevitably what you're automating. And if you don't even understand that part of the business, it doesn't work. And so, I think more of the same, which is really kind of what Eben weighed in on too. We love to fast advance these things. But again, I've been on a rant lately. We're not even omni. So let's just, right. We're not even really omni. Very rarely are we truly, when we walk into client environments, in a full integrated omni environment. There is a lot of multi-channel, poorly run non-voice channels still out there. And now we're coming to lay AI on it. And so I don't think it's so much about where we need to go next. It's about, let's just really double down on where we are and do what we say right. That's my new rant.
So this is the final question. What is the most important mindset or focus area that executives need to have if they want AI to deliver real business value in 2026 and beyond?
I'm going to say don't be lazy. Do the work. Do the real work. Understand your business. Understand your goals. Have a strategy. Don't be lazy. Do it right. Be a good business leader.
Yeah. Figure out how to ingrain change in your organization. I don't care if you're just running a contact center, if you're a CEO of a multinational. This isn't just lip service. This is, you have to be agile today. And if your organization is not set up, structured, and culturally driven towards change, again, I'll go back to no one knows what model is going to win. No one knows in our space. I mean, there's some questions right now I have about one of OpenAI's new releases. Are all the conversational bots in our industry dead? And I'm being a little bit extreme because I'm trying to make a point, not because that's true or I believe that. It's because none of us know. And if you are going to build for, an AI future, which you have to, then you're going to have to be agile and be ready to change and shift and move. And a lot of big, even mid-sized corporations are terrible at it. They're set in their ways. And I can't tell you how many times that's just the way we've always done it. I hear that all the time, even to this day, which still baffles me. But I'd say, adopt change across your whole org, top down. It has to be driven. Because this world's going to work differently.
Yeah, and I would say, launch and learn, and continue to adapt, knowing that you're going to have to make adjustments and changes as you go. So build that into your financial model, that it's not going to be as efficient as you thought. And so, to sort of Christa's point, really focus on those business value in those cases, because those are the trends that are really going to have the ROI to fund that and make that investment to see that all the way through. So there you go.
I think we should launch a launch and learn AI ongoing interactive web show.
There you go.
During lunch hour, come talk AI. I'm just throwing it out there. Eben said it.
Yep.
If you're interested, post below.
Well, from the coding perspective, the glitzy stuff that you can see is faster and faster and faster, what you can create now, right? Mm-hmm. So it really helps people that can visualize things and see it. They can get the idea, and it may not be great. That's okay, because it only costs you $1 to make it, right? So then you throw it away and you make another one for $1, right? So, but the monolithic process of, let's make this big investment, let's figure out this is exactly what it's going to do and it's going to work. It's like, no, that's going to be very difficult in this environment.
Yeah. And one more thing, don't just listen to the analysts' reports on the surface level. Don't fall for the clickbait. The MIT report is my biggest example. Everybody mentions 95% fail, but what they forget to mention is that the clickbait, that's just the clickbait title, right? It was 95% of generative integration efforts fail to return on an investment. But yet further on down the article, read that 67% of point solutions actually succeed. Mm-hmm. So, there's a lot of people out there trying to get a lot of attention right now. And, just remember, we live in a clickbait society of social media, and, do your research. Again, this stuff isn't going away, and it's not failing at a 95% rate unless you're talking about enormous, projects that aren't really, the company wasn't ready for anyways. Mm-hmm. So I mean, again, that goes back to change, right? Be ready to change and adapt.
You just don't have a choice but to change. That's the gist of that with AI. I want to thank Christa, Fred, and Eben for joining me today. If your organization is ready to turn AI investments into real performance, start with their AI readiness assessment. and bring AI to full realization with strategy, structure, and measurable results. I'm Jessica Alston with CH Consulting Group. Thank you for watching. I love that video. You guys gave such great